The moment that changed everything, an ordinary morning that felt like every other one. It started like any other day. Nothing dramatic, nothing unusual, just a quiet morning moving at its usual pace. The kind of morning where life feels predictable. You wake up, follow the same routine, trust the same rhythm. This is how most life-changing moments begin. Not with alarms or warnings, but with comfort. Familiar steps, familiar thoughts. You believe you know what your day holds because yesterday looked the same, and the day before that too. That comfort lowers your guard. It makes you feel safe. It makes you believe everything is fine. But let me tell you something. Big shifts rarely arrive shouting. They arrive quietly, just like normal days. And that is why they hit harder. Because you never saw them coming. How the smallest accidents carry the loudest truths. Some truths don't arrive by choice. They arrive by mistake, an error, a mix-up, a moment that was never planned. Have you ever learned something by accident and wished you hadn't? Not because it wasn't real, but because it was too real. That's how life works sometimes. The smallest slip pulls back the biggest cover. You weren't searching for answers. You weren't digging for proof. Yet somehow, truth finds a way to reach you. Why do the most important truths show up uninvited? Because if they waited for permission, they would never be seen. Comfort keeps doors closed. Accidents force them open. And once they open, you can't pretend you didn't look inside. When something meant to nourish love feels wrong, some things are meant to care for us, to support us, to show love without words. And when those things feel off, your body knows before your mind does. You feel it in your chest, a tight pause, a quiet warning you can't explain. This wasn't just an object. It was a sign, a symbol, something that should have brought warmth instead brought weight. You couldn't explain why, but you knew something wasn't right. And that feeling stayed with you. Because when love feels wrong, it's not confusion. It's awareness trying to wake you up. Trust tells you to look away. Instinct tells you to look again. Trust is powerful. But trust without awareness can blind you. One voice inside says, don't question it. Don't overthink it. Don't doubt people you love. Another voice says, look closer. Pay attention. That second voice is easy to silence. We do it all the time. Because questioning feels uncomfortable. Because facing truth feels heavy. But instinct doesn't shout. It whispers. And when it does, it's asking you to choose. Will you protect comfort, or will you face reality? What is familiar feels safe. What is hidden feels dangerous. Yet the hidden doesn't go away just because you avoid it. It waits, it grows. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it becomes. The pause before the truth changes everything. There is always a pause before life shifts. A moment where time slows down, where your hands stop, where your breath changes. You sense that once you move forward, there is no return. This pause is powerful. It's the space between who you were and who you are about to become. You don't know the full truth yet, but you know enough to feel shaken, enough to feel unsure, enough to feel that something inside you has already changed. And in that moment, you realize something important. What you saw didn't just shock you. It challenged what you believed. And once belief cracks, nothing stays the same again. When love makes you blind, why love often protects a lie instead of the truth. Love can be a shield. And sometimes that shield blocks truth. Parents often defend an image because the image feels safer than reality. You remember who your child was, not who they're becoming. You protect memories instead of facing changes. Emotional denial begins quietly. You don't call it denial. You call it hope. You tell yourself things will improve. You tell yourself you might be wrong. But love should never require blindness. Love should not demand silence. When love protects a lie, it doesn't stop pain. It delays it, and delayed pain grows heavier. The truth doesn't disappear just because you refuse to see it. It waits, and waiting only makes it harder to face later. Driving with fogged windows feels safe until you crash. Driving with fogged windows feels calm at first. You slow down. You trust the road you've traveled before. You tell yourself nothing has changed. But danger doesn't always warn you. Comfort hides risk. Awareness clears vision. When you refuse to see clearly, you don't avoid harm. You invite it. Many people live this way. They move through life trusting familiar patterns while missing clear signs. Comfort feels kind. Awareness feels sharp. Yet only awareness protects you. Comfort can lie. And when it does so gently, telling you everything is fine right up until it isn't. The warning signs we notice. Then quietly ignore the signs are rarely dramatic. They are small shifts. Changed behavior. Less warmth. More distance. Silence that slowly becomes normal. You notice it. Then you explain it away. You blame stress. You blame time. You blame yourself. You accept silence because confronting it feels heavy. But silence is not peace. Silence is a signal. When something changes and you ignore it, you teach yourself to live with less truth. And living with less truth always costs more in the end. You explain it away. You excuse it. You delay the truth. You explain it away. You excuse it. You delay the truth. This is how denial survives. Not through lies, but through delay. You tell yourself tomorrow is better. Next week will be clearer. Someday you'll talk about it. But truth doesn't wait forever. The longer you delay it, the louder it becomes. Avoidance feels calm, but it builds pressure. And pressure always finds a release. The question is not if. It's when comfort starts lying to you, comfort feels warm. It feels familiar. But when comfort stops asking questions, it starts lying. If you don't question comfort, comfort will lie to you. It will tell you silence is kindness. It will tell you distance is normal. It will tell you time will fix what truth refuses to face. But comfort never fixes anything. Action does. Awareness does. And once you see that comfort has been lying, you can't unsee it. The discovery inside the lunchbox opening, something ordinary and feeling something is very wrong. It looked ordinary. Nothing unusual on the outside. But the moment it opened, something shifted. You didn't understand it yet, but your body reacted first. That quiet heaviness. That pause. That feeling of wrong without explanation. This is how truth often arrives. Not with answers, but with discomfort. Your mind wants logic. Your heart already knows. And that gap between feeling and understanding is where reality begins to surface. This wasn't food, it was a message. This wasn't food. This was a message, not written, not spoken, but clear. Every item carried meaning. Every detail revealed something words never said. Objects can speak. Situations can speak. And sometimes they speak louder than people ever do. This wasn't about what was inside. It was about what it represented. A pattern. A control. A quiet signal of something deeper and darker than expected. Every item spoke louder than words ever could. Words can hide. Objects don't. Every item told a story. Not of care, but of control. Not of support, but of limitation. The silence around it was loud. It said what conversations never did. It revealed what had been hidden in plain sight. And once seen, it could not be unseen. Truth has weight. And that weight settled heavily in that moment. Why would a grown man carry this? This question changes everything. Why would a grown man carry this? Why would someone accept this without question? This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. When adults live like children, something is wrong. When independence shrinks, something is broken. This question forces reflection, not just about him, but about everything surrounding him. About influence, about control, about silence. When care turns into control, care becomes dangerous when it removes choice. Support becomes harmful when it limits growth. What we tolerate quietly becomes our children's normal. Control doesn't always look harsh. Sometimes it looks organized. Sometimes it looks caring. But control always shrinks people, and seeing that truth hurts. Because it means accepting that love alone was not enough to protect someone from harm. The painful truth about grown children, the moment you realize love doesn't mean blindness, this is the turning point. The moment shock turns into clarity. Love does not mean blindness. It never did. Love means seeing clearly and still choosing to act with care. Protecting someone does not mean hiding truth. Facing reality is not betrayal. It is responsibility. And this realization changes everything. When support quietly turns into silence. At what point does support turn into silence? When does patience become avoidance? Silence feels easier than confrontation, but silence allows harm to continue. Silence sends a message, and that message is often louder than words. Reflection begins here, not with blame, but with honesty. Enabling isn't kindness, it's avoidance. Avoidance wears the mask of kindness. But it is not kindness. It is fear. You don't protect people by lying to yourself. You don't help by looking away. Avoidance keeps problems alive, and problems left alive grow stronger. Raising a child is not the same as respecting an adult. Raising a child requires guidance. Respecting an adult requires boundaries. These are not the same. When you treat adults like children, you weaken them. Growth requires space. Strength requires trust. And boundaries make that possible. Are you helping or are you hiding? This is the question that stays. Are you helping or are you hiding? Are you acting from care or from fear? Because hiding feels safe, but it costs more than facing truth ever will. Confrontation without chaos. Why calm is more powerful than anger will ever be. Anger feels strong, but it weakens your position. Calm does the opposite. Calm keeps your mind clear and your words steady. When emotions take control, they speak for you, and they rarely speak well. Real strength is not raised voices or sharp reactions. Real strength is staying steady when everything inside you wants to react. Calm does not mean silence forever. It means choosing the right moment. It means knowing that losing control gives control away. When you stay calm, you stay grounded. And when you're grounded, you can face anything without falling apart. Emotion gives away power. Clarity takes it back. Emotion rushes forward. Clarity steps back and observes. Emotion pushes you to speak too fast. Clarity asks you to pause. When you let emotion lead, you hand over power. When you choose clarity, you take it back. This is where control lives. Not in volume, not in force, but in clear thinking. Calm words land deeper than loud ones. Clear truth does not need decoration. When you speak with clarity, people listen. Not because you demanded attention, but because you earned it. Silence first, word second. The strength of restrained silence is not weakness. Silence is restraint. It gives you time to see what others reveal when you stop talking. Silence allows truth to rise on its own. Many people fear silence because it feels exposed. But silence is where understanding forms. When you speak too soon, you miss what matters. When you wait, you learn. Silence is a choice. And choosing it first keeps your power intact. Reaction loses control. Response creates Ida. Reaction is quick and messy. A response is measured and clear. Reactions come from emotion. Responses come from awareness. When you react, you follow the moment. When you respond, you lead it. Life will always test you. People will push. Situations will challenge you. The question is not what happens to you. The question is how you answer it. Control is not about stopping emotion. It is about choosing what you do with it. Truth is sharp, but control is the handle truth can cut. But without control, it cuts everyone, including you. Control is the handle that allows you to hold truth without harm. You don't need volume when you have truth. You don't need force when you have clarity. Calm confrontation is not soft. It is focused. And focused truth leaves no room for confusion. Boundaries are not betrayal. Why boundaries are protection, not punishment. Boundaries exist to protect what matters. They are not walls built out of anger. They are lines drawn out of care. Without boundaries, respect fades. Without limits, balance breaks. Boundaries tell people how to treat you. They protect your time, your energy, and your peace. Saying no is not rejection. It is direction. When you protect yourself, you teach others how to approach you. Boundaries are not cruelty, not hate, not rejection. Boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are not hate. Boundaries are self-respect. Repeating this matters because many people confuse kindness with surrender. You can be firm and still care. You can protect yourself without hurting others. Boundaries don't push people away. They reveal who respects you enough to stay within them. Why asking for dignity makes us feel guilty? Why does asking for dignity feel wrong? Because many people were taught to put themselves last, to stay quiet, to accept discomfort, to keep peace. But peace built on silence is fragile. Dignity is not too much to ask for. It is the minimum. And when you stop feeling guilty for asking for it, everything changes. A door without locks invites theft. A door without locks invites theft. Not because everyone is bad, but because access without limits invites misuse. Boundaries are locks. They protect what's inside. They don't accuse. They prepare. When you leave everything open, you lose control over what enters your life. Locks are not fear. They are wisdom. If you don't set limits, resentment will. If you don't set limits, resentment will. It will grow quietly. It will change how you speak, how you feel, how you show up. Resentment damages from the inside. Boundaries stop that damage before it starts. And setting them is an act of care, not conflict. The cost of staying silent. What silence slowly steals from you, silence steals clarity. It steals peace. It steals self-worth. Every time you stay quiet when something feels wrong, a part of you pulls back. Silence does not protect you. It drains you, slowly, quietly, until one day you feel smaller than you used to. How unspoken pain becomes a generational habit. Unspoken pain doesn't disappear. It passes on. Children learn what they see. If silence is the answer to discomfort, they learn silence too. What you avoid today becomes someone else's burden tomorrow. Breaking that cycle starts with speaking when it matters. Short-term peace creates long-term damage. Short-term peace feels easy. Long-term damage is heavier. Avoiding truth today creates deeper problems later. Silence delays discomfort, but it multiplies it. Facing truth early costs less than carrying it forever. Silence feels safe until it destroys you. Silence feels safe because it avoids conflict. But safety built on fear does not last. Over time, silence eats away at confidence and trust. And once those are gone, rebuilding takes effort. Speaking up protects you from that loss. Cracks ignored always become collapses. Cracks ignored always become collapses. Small issues grow when left untouched. Silence allows damage to spread. Awareness stops it early. And choosing to speak is choosing to stand before everything falls apart. Choosing courage over comfort, the moment you realize comfort is costing you more than fear there, comes a moment when comfort starts to feel expensive, not in money, but in peace, in sleep, in self-respect. You begin to notice that staying quiet hurts more than speaking up ever could. Fear feels sharp, but comfort feels heavy. Fear passes. Comfort that traps you does not. This is the moment awareness wakes up. You see that avoiding pain has created a deeper one. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Comfort stops feeling safe. It starts feeling like a cage. And that realization changes how you move forward. One choice, one conversation, one stand. Change does not require everything at once. It starts small. One choice, one conversation, one stand. Not tomorrow, not someday. One clear moment where you decide to stop shrinking. One conversation where you speak honestly. One stand where you stop bending against yourself. Small steps create real shifts. You don't need a perfect plan. You need one honest move. And then another. You don't need permission to protect your values. You don't need permission to protect what matters to you. Not from family. Not from friends. Not from anyone. Your values are yours to guard. Waiting for approval keeps you stuck. Standing firm moves you forward. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to choose better. You are allowed to protect your peace without explaining yourself to everyone. This is not rebellion. It is self-respect. Courage isn't loud. Its steady courage does not shout. It doesn't rush. It stands firm when it would be easier to step back. Courage looks like calm decisions made under pressure. It looks like honesty spoken without anger. It looks like holding your ground without raising your voice. Steady courage lasts longer than loud reactions. And steady courage changes lives, starting with your own choosing resolution instead of delay. Delay feels harmless. It feels like waiting for the right time. But delay keeps you stuck in the same place. Resolution moves you forward. Choosing resolution means deciding that today matters more than comfort. It means acting while the truth is clear. And once you choose resolution, action follows naturally. Redefining family, respect, and love. When love heals instead of controls, healthy love supports growth. It does not limit it. It heals without holding tight. It gives space without abandoning. Love that heals allows people to become stronger, not smaller. Control wears the mask of care, but it always leaves damage behind. Real love builds confidence. It does not steal it. What kind of love teaches fear? Love should not create fear. Fear does not teach growth. Fear teaches silence. When love makes someone afraid to speak, to choose, or to grow, something is wrong. Love is meant to feel safe, not threatening. It should lift, not press down. And recognizing that difference is the first step toward healthier connections. Support builds strength. Suffocation destroys it. Support gives room to breathe. Suffocation takes it away. Support trusts. Suffocation controls. When help becomes pressure, it stops helping. Strength grows when people are trusted to stand on their own. And love that understands thus creates strong families, not fragile ones. Love listens. Love respects. Love does not shrink you. Love listens. Love respects. Love does not shrink you. These are not wishes. These are standards. Love does not silence your voice. Love does not reduce your worth. Love allows you to be fully yourself without fear of punishment or loss. Raising the standard for every relationship. Once you understand healthy love, you stop settling for less. You raise the standard, not with anger, but with clarity. You choose relationships that support growth, honesty, and respect. And that choice changes how you give love as well as how you receive it. Final wake-up call. What will you do now? Let me be clear. This is your moment. Let me be clear. This is your moment. Not later. Not after things get worse. Right now. You have seen enough. You have felt enough. Awareness brings responsibility, and ignoring it costs more than facing it. This moment asks you to choose yourself. You saw it. You felt it. Now act. You saw it. You felt it. Now act. Feeling alone does not change anything. Action does. Small steps matter. Honest words matter. Standing firm matters. What you do next defines what follows. Truth is the mirror, action is the choice. Truth shows you who you are and where you stand. Like a mirror, it does not lie. But seeing is not enough. Action is the choice that follows. You decide whether truth changes your life or simply passes through it. Awareness. Without action changes nothing. Awareness alone does nothing. It is only the beginning. Action turns awareness into growth. Without action, patterns repeat. With action, new paths open. The difference is not knowledge. It is what you do with it. What you carry forward is who you become. What you carry forward shapes who you become. Fear or strength, silence or truth, comfort or courage. The lunchbox revealed the truth, but what you carry forward is your choice.